It is Illini4life here, and it is episode 21, and I am back. It has been about a month
since I put up my last episode, and I mentioned in my post-game why. I'm not going to talk about it right now. That's just for a completely different time. I don't know when I'm going to tell it. I don't know when it will be safe to tell it, but I will tell it one day. I am back. If you thought that I was just making 20 episodes and then being done, that's not true. I'm back. We're at least making 25. 25 is a milestone. But we will get to the questions as usual. The first question is from HawkLover1. His question, I don't have it in front of me, so I'm just kind of paraphrasing. His question is, with the White Sox playing really, really well, and the Cubs not playing well, do you think the Cubs fan base will transfer to the White Sox? No, because as much as I hate to say it, the Cubs will always have the best fans in Chicago. That's just how it's always been. Even if they lose, they've obviously shown that they will stick around. I mean, if they haven't left by now, they never will. And the only thing I can hope for is that more Chicago people start rooting for both, which I don't know if that'll ever happen. I think it's starting to happen more and more, but we'll see. I don't think that's no. The second question is from MookHouse002. His question is, how can HawkLover1 be so stupid? Now, that's not fair, because HawkLover1, I asked him to watch my videos, and he did, and I asked him to leave a question, and he did. He isn't the biggest sports fan. I mean, he likes sports, but he doesn't watch them all the time. He's not as informed as some people. He doesn't know as much. He does have great Minecraft videos, which he unfortunately took down. I was going to tell you guys to watch them. Great videos, but he's not the hugest sports fan, so that's not fair. He's not stupid. He's not as informed as people like you and me. Well, that is it for the questions. Now, it is finally time to talk about the draft. Alright, everybody, it is time to talk about the draft, and you finally get to hear Trent's voice again. Say hi, Trent.
Hello, world.
It has been a while for you guys. You've at least heard my voice last week with my post-game show, but I know that Trent is a fan favorite, and you guys have dearly missed him.
Yes, it's quite sad that I haven't been on in a while.
Yeah. Well, we are here to talk about the draft today. We will talk about what's-his-face, Myers Leonard, and we will talk about the Bulls pick, and we will talk about the draft in general. So, first, we will talk about Myers Leonard. Myers Leonard, our Illini boy, was the only Illinois player taken in the draft. He was the first Big Ten player, so that's pretty awesome.
Indeed.
He went to the Trailblazers at pick number 11. That's a lottery pick. A lot of the announcers were saying that he should not have gone that high, but they do not understand his potential. He was still a lanky sophomore in college who hadn't lived up to his full potential yet and had still been playing great.
Yes, it is amazing. They took him over Ensign and Zeller, or some other big men too, and people were questioning that, but the Trailblazers knew what they saw. They knew that he was better deep down than those two, and that he was going to blossom into a big man sensation.
Yeah, he should have gone to the Pistons, which is where Andre Drummond was picked, because Andre Drummond is a punk who does not work hard. He only has potential. That's all he has. But you know what? I'm glad that he doesn't have to go there, because he would probably be killed.
Yes, he would be murdered in Detroit.
He's white. Mix that with Detroit. Mix that with the fact that he's 7 feet tall. He'll stick out. That's just not a good mix.
Yes, I know. Some murderer would come across him and end his life.
Yeah, I really think the Pistons were picking between the two, and they realized that Myers Leonard would probably be better, but they realized that Drummond would probably not be murdered, and would, they would at least have him.
Exactly.
All right,
All
now,
good.
yes. All right, now, the Bulls. Their first pick, 29th overall pick, was Marquise Teague out of Kentucky. Despite my hate for Kentucky, I do think it's a good pick. Point guard wise, I think we should have taken Tyshawn Taylor, but that's mostly because I hate Kentucky more than anything. But we did need a point guard to come in because Rose might miss half the season or more. We don't know at this point. And then he can have great trade value.
Yes, you can hate Kentucky as much as you want, but you can't deny skill. That is what T has. Okay, he's a champion, first of all. He has that mentality, and I think he's underrated because of all the talent around him. He didn't get enough time to blossom and show his true skill. I think he's the best player from that Kentucky team. He just was outshadowed.
I really do too. I think he's the best overall anyway. They say Gilchrist. What's great about Gilchrist? He's just a leader, which is fine. Davis was a defensive-oriented player. Teague, he's the floor general. He runs the show, and he was a 5-star prospect. If he would have gone somewhere else and put up 15 and 6, he would have probably been a top 5 pick.
Yes, he is the reason Davis and Gilchrist and all those other Kentucky players did so well. There's the man behind the mask, Marquise Teague.
Yeah, I mean, when I put the hate of Kentucky aside, I thought it was a great pick, and I'm glad to have him, and I think he will shine in his time in the starting role, and that will be good for the rest of the season when he can be a good backup, and then we can trade him in the future.
Yes, he will be worth a lot, so the Bulls basically have it cut out for them.
He could be Devin Harris 2.0. I think that's what we'll end up getting with him.
Possibly better.
Well, probably better, because he'll be a better starter wherever he ends up going.
Yes, he will be a legend.
All right, and so that's it for the Bulls, because that's the only major pick they had. So now we will talk about the draft in general. First of all, the number 1 overall pick by the New Orleans Hornets was Anthony Davis. Now, everyone thought he was going to go to the Bobcats because, the Bobcats had the worst record, and every year everyone assumes that the number 1 team in the lottery is going to win it, and it almost never happens.
Yes, there's only a 25% chance it does happen. So, basically, it might not happen.
Exactly, and it almost never does. It's like a curse. But anyway, then with the 10th overall pick, they got Austin Rivers. What do you think about New Orleans next year with Davis, Rivers, and Gordon?
I think there's no doubt they make the playoffs. They could be an 8 seed, they could be a 1 seed, but I pretty much have them a lock for the playoffs. Eric Gordon was fantastic last year, and now that they have another year to kind of gel after losing Chris Paul, no one's going to stop them, and I think they'll be very good for years to come.
Well, the thing with Austin Rivers is, I think, Duke was on ESPN a lot, obviously, because they love Duke for some reason. And I noticed Austin Rivers is very, very talented, and he's a great scorer. But he takes a lot of shots. And they're saying they want Rivers to play right away. And he's a shooting guard. And Gordon's a shooting guard. Well, Rivers can play the point. So I think that'll end up happening. And that will be good and bad, because he takes a lot of shots.
Well, I think Gordon could play point guard for all that matters, because he is more of a team player than Rivers. I think he'll have a better year than Anthony Davis, honestly, because I just think his scoring ability is unmatched compared to Anthony Davis, who was not a great scorer, and now that the NBA, he's not going to be the most dominant man on the floor. There are going to be other guys playing that role.
I really think it would be a big mistake for them to play either of them at point guard. I think they should have a 3-guard offense and have someone else play point guard.
Maybe Anthony Davis can play point guard, because he used to do that.
Probably.
So why not?
Why not? All right, now, what do you think was the biggest surprise of the draft?
The biggest surprise of the draft, I really think it's what Cleveland decided to do, taking that Syracuse sixth man.
Deion Waiters.
I don't think he's NBA ready.
Yeah.
I think that reach for him. He's not a starter. He's not meant to be a starter. I think he'll be a massive bust.
Yeah, I don't know if he'll be a massive bust, but you mentioned sixth man. Well, if he can't be in the starting five, how can he be a top 5 pick?
Yes, and the thing is, when you draft a player to be a sixth man, he's usually a starter on a college team, and he's just not good enough to start in the NBA. You don't draft a good sixth man from college to be a sixth man in the NBA.
Yeah, I think maybe you take him in the second round or mid-late first round. Even that's a stretch. I mean, some people are good enough to start, but they are better coming off the bench.
Yeah.
But you can't judge that by if they were a sixth man in college. James Harden started in college, but
Yes.
and he probably has the potential to start, but he's shown he is great off the bench.
That's like drafting a backup quarterback in college into the NFL to be the backup quarterback. You don't do that.
Yeah, I mean, Matt Castle, that's what happened to him.
But that was 7th round.
True. My biggest surprise was Miles Plumlee being taken in the first round. Like I said, Duke is on TV a lot. Miles Plumlee, everyone says he sucks. I don't think he sucks, but I don't think he should be a first-round pick.
I agree. He's white. That's always troublesome. And I also think that because him playing with Coach K, he's going to expect royalty, basically, because he had such a good college coach, but now it's going to be a little bit different.
Yeah, I could see that happening. Second in that competition for Illini4life's biggest surprise was Perry Jones falling to the Thunder.
Yeah. Perry Jones the third, I thought was going to be a top 10 pick at first. But the Thunder, what a steal. I don't know, though.
It's a steal. I mean, they don't really have any needs right now, so I mean, if that works out, it works out. And if he lives up to his potential, it'll be great for them.
Yes, having another solid player to just come in and score and do whatever is needed would really help them.
All right. Well, Illini4life needs to add time to the thing, so it doesn't cut me off. So we will have a break here, and when we come back, we'll talk maybe a little bit more about the draft. Then we'll have our final word.
All right.
All right, everybody, we are back. We just we had a little editing we needed to do, and so now, what else is there to talk about the draft? The only thing I would like to say is that I hate that every year American talent does not fulfill their dream of being called in the draft because teams late in the second round pick Mikhail Blagojevic from Slovenia, who averaged 8 points a game in his crappy EuroLeague because he has upside. I hate that.
But they're not even ranked at all in the draft. They're just random. Like, there are plenty of better players that you could take.
Example, Kevin Jones, West Virginia, averaged 20 and 10, 4-year player at West Virginia, 20 and 10 in the Big East. That's tough to do. He can shoot. He's a little small, but I mean, come on, didn't get drafted.
Yeah, that's really rare when something like that happens. Just players, they think that they can take any random European player and turn him into Ginobili or something, but that's a rare case.
Exactly. That makes me mad every single year, and that's why I hope the USA destroys every single country in the Olympics. All right.
Get revenge.
Now it is time for the final word. What's your final word?
My final word is NFC. NFC will have the Super Bowl champion this year, and that will be the Chicago Bears.
Yes, it will. All right, I have 2 final words because they're both that good. My first final word is Uke because he has changed his ways. He is hitting the ball so well right now. And now I know we're going to win the World Series. My second final word is Illuminati. Alright, that is it, everybody. Illini4life signing off.